Shown at the beginning of the film, a man named Jeff traveling on a boat. He and his companions used to catch snakes and sell them. And at this time, these people were going to such a dangerous place to catch snakes, where it is believed that the place is cursed. There used to live the world's biggest, most dangerous crimson anaconda, which can easily prey on anything, even if it is its own anacondas. Now these people reach their destination and Jeff's captain demands more money from Jeff, because this was a very dangerous place. Here he and his boat were not safe. Jeff also takes out the money and gives it to him. But this time, by mistake, the money fell down. When the captain picked up the money and stood up, Jeff suddenly stabbed his neck with his knife and killed him. With the same knife, Jeff then cut his throat and threw it into the river, as if he was feeding someone. This thing was also seen by his other companions. Jeff tells them that he hates traitors. These people move forward and see an idol in the jungle. Such an idol on which there were a lot of snakes. And seeing this, Jeff says that the story of the crimson anaconda was true. On the other hand, Jeff's companions find a lot of snakes, who were also very happy to see them. Soon they start filling them in their bags. When one of these three companions came to put the bags full of snakes back in the boat, he saw that the headless corpse of his captain companion was standing in the water. He couldn't believe his eyes. Suddenly the corpse sank into the water again, and something big started coming towards him while swimming. Scared, this man runs towards the jungle, but his attempt does not succeed, because a big anaconda had now taken him in its clutches. Wrapped around him, he was going to eat him by breaking his bones. Suddenly the scene cuts and we are shown to his other companion in the jungle. That companion suddenly threw something and got scared. Actually, he had seen the body of the same big anaconda leaning. As soon as that anaconda climbed a tree, it was clear to see his stomach that he had swallowed a human, before this man could save his life and run away. Suddenly his companion's corpse stuck in front of him, on which a strange liquid was applied, because the snake had now swallowed him from his mouth. Throwing the man in front of him, this snake now grabs this man in its clutches. With the tree attached, it also breaks its bones and then it also starts eating it. Far away, Jeff was quietly watching this whole scene and was happy. Instead of saving his companions, he was standing as if everything was happening according to his will. Actually, he wanted to catch this anaconda, so Jeff didn't save him with his gun. All the animals of the jungle start making noise. Hearing their voices, this anaconda runs away from here. The scene cuts and on the other side, we see a man named Bailing. Bailing works in a circus with his companions, but due to the closure of this circus, he buys all the artists from the owner of the circus, because he wanted to take all these artists with him to Thailand and open a new circus there. These people also plan to go to Thailand via the river. And when these people are on the way, then they get way ahead of the wooden container. Their captain wanted them to change their way, but this way it would take them a lot of time to reach Thailand. Bailing threatens the captain that whatever happens, we will reach Thailand on time because our show is there. I have taken advance money for it. If we don't do the show, we will be ruined. In response, the captain says, then I have only one way. That we blow up all those things with dynamite. Without knowing how big a threat they could face from their work, these people burn all those containers with bombs. By doing this, their way was clear, but as soon as it rained, a lot of snakes fell on their ship, because all those containers were full of snakes. Out of fear, these people try to hide somewhere. While many people had fallen into the snakes badly, their joint plan shows cleverness here, and through a pressure pipe, all these snakes succeed in falling from their ship. But because of the sudden collapse of the bathroom, a lot of snakes fall on Bailing, who was hiding in the bathroom. To escape from them, he jumps into the river and reaches the shore. But his bad luck, a king cobra was here to bite him. Before he could bite him, a man here crushed him by putting his arm on him. This man was Jeff, who saved Bailing's life. That's why Bailing brings him on his ship. Jeff tells everyone that he is a wild explorer. And because of an accident, he got stuck here in the jungle. Here, suddenly one of his companions held his ear and started screaming loudly. Jeff goes close and looks at his ear closely. Then, putting a cut on his finger, he takes it to this boy's ear. And we see that suddenly a baby snake came out of his ear and bit Jeff's hand. And it didn't matter to Jeff. He picks up this snake and throws it into the water. Land, who was standing here, had noticed all this. Land herself was a snake expert. She knew that to get immune from the venom of a snake, a person has to put a lot of snake venom in his body. And she also tells this to Bailing and says, I don't think Jeff is a good person. See how the snake bit him, but nothing happened to him. On the other hand, Jeff meets the captain of this boat. He wanted the captain to take his boat to a place according to his map. As soon as the captain hears about the place, he pulls out his gun and shoots Jeff. And says, if you talk about going here again, I will shoot you. Don't you know this? That place is cursed. That means the captain also knew about the Crimson Anaconda. After hearing all this, Jeff wants to leave for now. But we see that as soon as he leaves, the fishing rod of the captain who was fishing here suddenly pulls hard from below. Upon pulling it, the captain himself fell into the water. Actually, this trap was set by Jeff to catch the captain. He had trapped the captain in his trap, in the trap in which he had to catch the anaconda. And the captain was doing all the work for the anaconda. The captain's disappearance puts Land in doubt. Land knows that this will be Jeff's work. She asks Jeff where the captain is, but Jeff says that this is a jungle. It is common for humans to disappear here. Suddenly, they hear a rustle in the water. They ask, how is this sound? And Jeff says, something very big is going to come here. It is shown that in the depth of the river, a very large anaconda was moving towards Jeff's trap. Jeff's fishing rod pulls hard from below. As soon as he started folding, the anaconda appeared in front of them for a few seconds. Seeing such a big, so powerful anaconda, all of them got scared. The fishing rod that Jeff was holding, the anaconda pulled hard and threw Jeff into the water with the same rope. He was sometimes throwing Jeff here and sometimes there. But Jeff was not going to give up. He goes to a small ship in this river floating to save himself. He tied the fishing rod with this ship, and now to save his life, he attacks this anaconda's body in the water with a pointed rod. This attack did not kill Anaconda, but it did hurt him and made him angry. Everyone thought Jeff was dead, but Jeff had somehow escaped and returned to the boat. They were all looking at him, while Jeff was now looking for Anaconda in the water. He did not know that Anaconda was now on the roof of his ship behind him. At the next moment, in front of all of them, spits out the captain's body. The people in front of whom Anaconda spits out the captain's body run away from here and hide in a bathroom, and Anaconda runs after them to kill them. These people close the door and stop Anaconda from pushing him. And from the outside, Jeff attacks Anaconda once again with a pointed weapon. Because of which, in anger, Anaconda goes to Jeff. To escape Anaconda's attack, Jeff disappears from his sight for a minute. To find him, Anaconda goes inside the ship, where, in a compartment, Beliang and his accomplices were hiding. Anaconda could not see them, and he rolls over them and goes ahead. Lane was hiding in the control room of this ship for a gun, which sees that big Anaconda passing through the window of her room. While Anaconda, from the top of the roof, from the bathroom window below, attacks his other two companions. A second companion was stuck in the mouth of this Anaconda from behind. To get his face out of this pot, Anaconda had suffered badly on the roof of this ship. Anaconda had taken out his head by breaking the pot with great difficulty. The ship's control room catches fire. Fire reached their bombs. Also a huge explosion is shown in this ship. To save his life from this explosion, they all jump into the water. And Anaconda is killed in all this. Seeing the ship on fire, Baliung started crying. He was worried that they would not be able to reach Thailand on time. In anger, his younger companion says to him, "Are you crazy? We were saved from such a big anaconda. Our lives were saved. We are alive. Isn't this enough for you?" Here, Lane had understood that all this was happening because of Jeff. He had used their ship as a hostage. She says to Jeff, "If you hadn't done this, it wouldn't have been such a big threat to us." Jeff says in response, You know what the price of that anaconda is. If you have helped me catch it, we would all be millionaires today. Greedy Baliang, as soon as he heard the money, immediately turns to Jeff. He had forgotten to go to Thailand. He says to Jeff, "Tell me, what can we do to catch that anaconda? How will we get the money? Where do we have to go? What do we have to do?" After hearing this, Jeff takes out his map, shows it to him, and says that if you help me, then through this map, I will take you to Thailand in 2 days. Both Baliang's wishes were coming true. He was ready to go with her. But Baliang's other companions didn't trust Jeff. Here, one of Baliang's companions was also unwell, because she was bitten by a very dangerous insect. She could have died from its poison. Seeing this, Jeff says to her, "Have a medicine that can cure this girl, but that medicine is up to my board. If you want to cure her, then you will have to take me to my ship." Not wanting to, these people are now ready to help Jeff. They were walking ahead. As they go ahead, Jeff tells them not to drink the water here. There are such insects in the water here that go inside a person. They put such thirst in him that he drowns himself in this water and kills himself. Night falls. They stay in a cave where they had set fire. And Jeff, sitting on the side, was looking at the anaconda on his map. Suddenly, the scenes go into flashback and it comes to light that how that crimson anaconda had met Jeff. That anaconda was about to kill Jeff, but Jeff acted smart at that time and saved himself from the anaconda's eyes by locking himself in that wooden container. After that, these people came. The scenes again shift to the present where Jeff was looking at the map. Baliang comes to him and says, "You want to catch this anaconda, right?" Jeff says, "Yes, this is a mutated anaconda. Such an anaconda that you can even call the king of anacondas. It has hunted many big animals in the world. He even ate big anacondas like himself. And if we catch it, then our 7 generations will not need to work." In greed, Baliang says, "I'm ready to help you." At night, all these people were sleeping. He sees that these people were surrounded by big anacondas from all sides. Suddenly his eyes opened and we found out that all this was his dream. There was no anaconda around him. He sees that his brother is not here. Afraid, he came out of this cave and saw that his brother was drowning himself badly in the river. He goes close and tries to wake up his brother and sees that the same poisonous insects are coming out of his nose, about which Jeff had told him that these insects kill humans by poisoning them. And in the presence of these insects, his brother is also killed. This boy cries a lot, but what could have happened now? The next morning, these people set out on their journey again. Fearing, these people get into the river and suddenly a boy points towards the water. But the one who is afraid, he dies. He didn't know that this anaconda's mouth was behind him. Suddenly, the anaconda grabs him and shakes him badly inside. With his help, Len comes here but can't do much because this anaconda had broken his bones. He suffocates him and kills him, and all these people stand and watch the drama. Anaconda disappears into the water with that man's dead body. All these people meet and reach Jeff's boat. As soon as they reach there, according to the story, Jeff gives them the medicine which could have been used. Along with them, he says, "Let's get out of here quickly." But Jeff tells them, "It's not like that. I have brought you all here safe and sound according to the promise. But now, you will also have to fulfill your promise. You will have to help me." That little boy tells Jeff, "If your help is related to that anaconda, then forget it. We are not going to help you." After hearing this, Jeff had already taken out the gun and Baliang also started showing them his knife. Because he too has now become Jeff's companion, he tells them, "Come on, do it quickly. Do what Jeff is saying." Len says, "Are you all crazy? It is possible to catch such a big anaconda," Jeff says. "Yes, you are right, but not completely. That anaconda can be caught while eating." As soon as he says this, Baliang and Jeff hold their 2 companions by the rope and tie them on top of their net. Around the crimson anaconda, the crying child tells Baliang, "Why are you doing this? If we die, then think who will perform in your circus." After hearing this, Baliang started laughing like crazy and he said, "What did you think? I am taking you to Thailand for this circus. Hey crazy, I was taking you there so that I can sell your organs and earn a lot of money, but now see. I changed my plan. Now I have met Jeff. Because I know that this anaconda can give me more money than you. Here on the other side, tied the two girls to the tree. After that, he started misbehaving with the girl. This girl was also smart. She didn't stop him but trapped him in her web and took out a gun from his pocket. From which she turned back, and as soon as she shot Jeff. She was unlucky that the bullet didn't go, and now she was caught by Jeff. Before Jeff killed her, here her other companion came from behind and stabbed Jeff with her knife. Jeff tried to push Lan away. And while looking at the other side, the other companion started taking the gun from Jeff's hand. We see the two people whom Jeff had kept as the prey of the anaconda were seen with their own eyes. Baliung was holding the rope of their web, but he didn't know that. Where he was watching the scene of other people's death, there was his death behind him. Another big anaconda was also watching him, and before Baliung knew about this, the anaconda suddenly attacked his head and killed him. Here, Jeff tries to kill the girl in anger, but this time she also shows her bravery and makes him unconscious. As soon as Jeff became unconscious, they try to escape. Jeff angrily approaches them. He is immediately grabbed from behind by another anaconda. The woman who was with Lan was also stabbed by Jeff. So she bled to death. Lan and her two friends try to escape in Jeff's boat. Jeff, who had escaped from the anaconda, put a drug stick on them. So Jeff recaptured the three of them and set a trap to feed the crimson anaconda. Then he pulled sharp wires in the jungle, and many anacondas came to eat them, and they started attacking each other. At which time the crimson anaconda came. Jeff immediately spread his net over its body, but the crimson anaconda easily broke through the net, and Jeff, who was holding the end of the net, got stuck in a tree. Jeff tried to escape from the anaconda, but the anaconda caught him and swallowed him. The boy ran and hid inside a box. But then the crimson anaconda also got inside. Lan opened the other side of the box and the boy was able to escape. But at this point, the anaconda bit one of them, and then the anaconda kicked out Jeff, who had swallowed it. Lan tried to hide to distract anaconda. These people run and move on. They also knew that these people would not be able to escape. But here, fate supports them. They did not know that they were in the part of the jungle where Jeff had put a wire with 30 wires. The head of this anaconda is cut off by hitting the wire. They look back and see that anaconda, and they do not believe that their life was saved. According to them, that anaconda was dead. These people were happy, but they could not take any more risks. They could not put their lives in danger. They knew that there were many more anacondas here. Sooner or later, these people save their lives and leave. And in the last scene of the story, we are shown that in reality, that crimson anaconda did not die. In fact, as Jeff had said earlier, it was a mutated anaconda. It had regenerated its cut head, and now it is alive once again, showing it that the story ends here.